Subjective throughout the process, but you know that that's there at the same time?
Yeah, we talked as a group about not allowing public sentiment to sway us in any direction. And ultimately, my job in all these searches, and I've had a lot of success in hiring coaches by being focused on really two things: what I hear from the team and what's right for the university, making sure we're hiring coaches with high integrity, high character. All those things are prerequisites for the job. But I think ultimately it's a matchmaking effort, and that's what we're focused on throughout the process.
What was it about Josh, I guess, the interview process that really stood out early and affirmed that he was the right player?
He was clearly ready to be a head coach. He was extremely impressive, more so than probably I expected for someone at his age and who had never been a head coach before. Not that he needed to do that well, but he really blew us away. Obviously, he has the advantage of knowing our players and the system that's had so much success. But he needed to represent himself as a candidate to be head coach against a competitive field, and he certainly did that in spades.
Why was it important to get the nationwide search over so quick? I mean, it only lasted about 3 days. Why is it so important?
This team needed some closure. It's a really unique time of year. We've had to move that fast in a normal cycle, maybe not, but I'm always trying to move as fast as I can, but we're never going to rush a decision if we don't feel really great about it. And in this instance, we feel outstanding about Josh as our new head coach. You have signing day right around the corner for a 26 class that's committed. Those student athletes and their families needed some closure and understand where we're going. And obviously fall ball is we're right in the midst of an important part of our preparation for next season.
How much did maintaining the continuity of the program weigh in your decision?
I think that's important. I think when you're having the kind of success that we have and have been having, continuity is a heck of a lot more important than if we weren't having success. But we view every head coaching hire as it's a long-term decision. I want to be successful. I told our players I want to make the right decision for you to go compete for a national championship this season. And I also have to make a decision that we think is the right long-term decision for our university. And we confidently landed with Josh Elander.
What was the timeline like after the interview with Josh for y'all to decide that this is the direction y'all wanted to go into?
Deliberated a bunch that day and did some more vetting and ultimately made a final decision the morning that we told the team.
What were those meetings?
I did.
What were those meetings like with the student athletes through this process?
Great. It was a really mature group. Met with 5 student athletes, 5 players that were voted on by their team. They were really helpful. We asked them a ton of questions, and they offered up just insight about what's going on, not only in our program but also college baseball in general. What's made us so great, and that helped me as I talked to potential candidates.
Now, I know that outside noise, meaning just the former baseball players that was here, did they help persuade you? Because they were just advocating for Josh all over the internet.
I love all of our former athletes. I'm not going to be swayed in a search process based on things like that. They obviously have high opinion. I'm not sure I saw much of that, but they didn't. I would think anybody that's ever played for Josh has a high opinion of him, and I get that. My job is to focus in on the here and now and follow the process that I outlined before.
Danny, that obviously wasn't the first coaching hire that you've made, but how special was it to see the team react that way when you had big reveals with Josh Elander?
I kind of figured that would play out that way. So what I told Josh and Frank, they were the first to learn about what we were doing. I said, guys, I've been through a hell of a week. You got to let me have a little bit of fun here. So I purposefully maybe led them to believe that I was bringing somebody different into the room. And that was a fun moment, I think, for everybody, certainly for me.
That kind of reaction, how much confidence does that instill, not only in the decision, but the direction of the program?
Yeah, it just shows you how healthy the culture is, how much they all care about each other. we have a really talented group. I think we can win a lot of baseball games this spring.
Danny, I know that there's a move like Tony just made is not one that's ever been made before. So I'm guessing there's no playbook on how to handle a baseball coaching search this time of year. So how much different was that? Than usually, maybe it seems like in basketball and football, you kind of know when a lot of the windows are for these kind of things. But did part of this come out of left field because of it had never been done before?
Yeah, no question, and that speaks to the accomplishment for Tony, as I said last week, for our entire program and anybody that supported our program. It's the first time in the history of college baseball that a coach has ever been hired to the big leagues. It's a phenomenal accomplishment. I know there's some initial hurt and probably some hurt with folks still, but it's not a transition we were expecting to be dealing with this time of year, to your point, but we're also happy for him and proud of his accomplishment and proud of everything he built here. But yeah, the timing was very unique.
You referenced time for two more. You referenced last week. You're not really necessarily familiar with assistant coaches, but when you met with them last Wednesday after Tony made his decision, what were the first things you learned about Josh that maybe gave you a glimpse into who he might be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with our coaches. I don't think our head coaches would appreciate me developing deep relationships with their staff. So you don't really get a feel for who someone would be as a head coach until you have the opportunity to have those conversations. And in this transition, I was able to do that. We had a great meeting after I met with the staff. That would have been, I think, Wednesday of last week. And then obviously the interview and some subsequent conversations after that. I think he's a guy that's really mature beyond his years. He's done it as a player. He's coached, seen the perspective of 3 world-class college baseball coaches. He spoke to that today. He was able to talk about how he'd be his own unique version of all of those and what he's learned. And we feel really good about Josh and his leadership.
Is there one characteristic that stands out as to what made you feel so comfortable pulling the trigger so quickly?
I'd say just a lot of characteristics. His maturity, his confidence, his understanding of the here and now and what we need to do to make sure we're successful in the short term. But my confidence in him that he can be a great leader for us for a long time.
Danny,
Final question about
Danny, you were out on the forefront of the rev share stuff before anybody else was talking about it. Like when you look at the current, aspects of just college athletics in general, with all these firings going on mid-season and these huge buyouts, how does when everybody's trying to find the money for NIL and this, and now you're looking at buyouts, how does that course correct? How do you feel like that course corrects in itself?
I don't know. I think we have a lot of, as you guys know, I've been pretty vocal about my concerns for college sports on the national scene. But here at Tennessee, we have worked incredibly hard, and we have the best fan base in sport. We've grown our budget from $140 million 4 years ago, we were 10th in the SEC, to over $300 million. We'll be second in the SEC behind Texas and clipping on their heels. And we've stood up an NIL operations staff. We've been on the forefront, as you mentioned, on all things NIL and rev share, and we're going to continue to be aggressive because it's an extremely important part of the winning equation for all of our programs.
Thanks,